Hello, welcome. My name is Dustin Woodard. I teach percussion here at Houghton College. This is my graduate student, Ian Riley. And today we're going to talk to you about flams, the different styles of flams, different contexts for flams, how to define them, and things like that. So we have 4 different snare drums. We have a drum set snare drum, 2 beautiful Black Swamp snare drums, the 14x5 multisonic and the 14x5 sound art. And then we also have a marching snare drum to show you just the different styles of flams and how they sound on different drums. Right? So what is a flam?
A flam specifically takes a double stop and splits the notes between the hands, creating a lighter grace note in one hand with a principal louder note in the other hand to create a broader sound and stretch the temporal space between the 2 notes.
So when we define a flam, we want to make sure, as Ian stated, that we have one primary note and then one grace note. It's very, very important that we have that distinction between the 2. It's very common with young players to lose that distinction and just play basically a double stop. Right? So we want to make sure that we have one hand that's low, one hand that's high. I always like to say, separate your hands and then drop them at the same time. So that way the grace note is going to play just before the primary note and you get that nice distinct, very crisp sound. One of my old colleagues by the man by the name of Gary Stith had a fantastic way of explaining flams. He said, think of it like the word flam. Right? It is one syllable, but it has 2 distinct parts. Right? You're not going to play fa-lam, and you're not going to play fam. You're going to play flam. Right? So flams are very, very important as percussionists, and the rudimental style, and the concert style, and drum set playing. And as percussionists, it's very, very important that we understand how to define flams, how to play them, and how to play them clean. So a lot of drummers come in from a marching percussion background and play from a drum line and things like that. And so one thing that's very different about performing flams on a marching snare drum is that the flams tend to be a lot closer together. They tend to be very, very crisp, very, very clean, like this. Right? One of the biggest reasons for that is because if you have a line of 5, 6, 7 drummers, you need to make sure that everybody's playing exactly the same way in the same interpretation. So it's a lot easier to clean up flams when they sound like this compared to if they sound like this. So with marching percussion, things tend to be very, very close together. Okay? Now with drum set playing, right, another very big aspect of a lot of drummers as they come into percussionists.
Right, so flams on a drum set, coming especially from a tradition of drum set playing, flams are much more of an embellishment than an actual rudimental figure. So flams often happen on the snare drum directly, either as a way to, again, broaden this principal note, or even between drums to create this anticipation in the grace note hand and then the resolution in the primary hand.
One thing that's very important with flams is that your flams are very consistent. Every time you play, you want your flams to sound the same every time. With concert music, in general, there's no black and white answer to how far the distance between the flams should be, or between the 2 notes. Right? You can play flams. You can play them. In general, yeah, plenty of people have different opinions and different things that they like to hear, but as long as your flams sound consistent, that's the most important thing. Right? And as percussionists, we should be able to define our flams in many different ways. We should be able to play them open. Say if I take the rudiment flam accent, I could play my flams very open. Or I could play them very closed. Or I could put them right in the middle. Being able to define flams in different ways will help you play different styles, whether you're playing a rudimental field drum, a marching snare drum, or a wonderful Black Swamp concert snare drum.